go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's International Race Fashion Experience today. And the name of the show today is Stay Strong. Remember, stay strong. You see that there? Okay, I'm going to let that go because I want you to see how I look today. Because I'm always going to stay strong because I don't believe in doing nothing wrong. And believe that you understand me is you got to be constantly as you get older, constantly as you grow, constantly as you practice your principles and your morals and your standards, and you steady do what's right and you do what you do and you develop these habits in yourself. You're staying strong and it get easier as you go along, as you go through things, you know what I mean, that you want to build confidence and strength in. What you have to do is you have to constantly practice and develop these habits, right? And then when you once develop the habit, you got to stay strong as far as don't sacrifice and relapse. Like say if you drink, don't go back and forth with that. You know what I mean? Stay strong as far as staying sober and keeping your sobriety strong. If you have to go to get help, but keep that faith and keep doing. Stay strong, man. Don't phase out. You understand what I'm saying? Go back to the bottle and go back and grab a drink. That's what made me think about this show today. I seen a guy that he got beat up and everything and said he wasn't going to drink it. He was clean for maybe a year. And then I seen him drinking again. I said, oh my goodness. And then he asked me something today. I asked him how was he doing. He said not good. You understand? But then again, he was drinking and smiling and had a drink in his hand. And I said to myself, man, you know, you got to remember, you know what I'm saying? You got to stay strong. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't keep going back and forth. But this guy's young. He's probably in his 40s. But you get at that age, 40 and 50, hey, that time goes by fast, man. And if you're drinking and wasting your time and making mistakes steady, you'll look around and you'll be 70, 60, 70, 80 years old, and you'll be doing the same thing you did when you was 40 years old, and you'll be then wasted your life because you would not have proved and appreciated the things that life has to offer you in your sobriety and your constantly natural state of mind, you understand me? And if you stay strong, you can put that on. You can put that on. You can make that happen, man. You understand? What I mean by that is you stay strong, man. And you get better with time. You understand me? As you get older, that's one thing that happens. You may get weak physically, you know what I'm talking about? And in your mind like that, but as far as your mind goes, and your habits and the things that you develop, they get stronger they get stronger as you get older. Those things you get stronger as long as you practice the principles of moral standards and ethics. You understand me? That you need to have and you need to do. As long as you keep practicing that continuously, over and over and over, and you do it year in and year out, and don't have no relapse. Keep going progressively forward and enjoying life for everything that's worked. You understand me? That makes you better. That makes you better and stronger. That makes you stronger and that makes you better. And when you get better and you get stronger, things get beautiful. Life is beautiful. That's when life is beautiful. You dig? And it don't take a lot of money. It don't take nothing but using your mind, using your brain. You understand me? You know, and doing what it takes, things that it takes to develop that confidence and that strength. You dig? Is do the right thing. Keep doing the right thing over and over and over and develop it. It may take years to get it right, but when you get it right, you don't fall off because it takes too much out of you. You stay strong, man, and stay going forward. And then things get easier, and staying strong is an easy thing to do. When you once practice it over and over and over and over and over again, year in and year out, you practice that way of life. You know what I'm talking about? You don't venture off into other things. You be your own best strength. You be your own best guide. You be your leader. You lead yourself. You understand? You don't nobody else leads you no kind of way. You don't listen to no negativity. If it don't go along with your program, then you don't go along with it. You dig? You know what I'm talking about? You don't mess with them nothing ass people. When I call them nothing ass people, I mean that because that's what they are. And this cat is a nothing ass cat. But I seen him, he had potential. He was around older dudes. All he had to do was listen. He seen what they was doing, how they was living, and how they got old and died. You understand what I'm saying? Was using drugs and drinking their whole life. You know what I mean? They was lucky to get it be in their 70s. You dig? You understand what I'm saying? They lived a long, full life considering the way the life they lived. You dig? But the point of it is, he knew this. He was a type with this cat, so he should have known and should have took notes. You got to take things from people. That's why staying strong. When you take this and get this information and get all this stuff from these older people, they're like mentors to you. That was a mentorship. You was being mentored, and you didn't take that information and really practice it. You did, because quite naturally they was telling you what not to do and what to do to be on the right track, because they wanted you to be on doing what you're supposed to do. And if you weren't, and they would answer you to do wrong, well then hey, that's why you where you are. You understand? Because you had the wrong kind of mentors, people that didn't know how to give you advice to put you on a better track. So therefore they left you, you understand me, hanging, because you didn't learn nothing from them while you was with them. But all people that are older than you take anybody in their 60s and 70s that lived a full life, can teach a younger person in their 40s and 30s something. They always got something they can teach you. But you got a lot of them that got hate, and they don't want to teach a person nothing. They think giving them knowledge or telling them something and make them better than them. And that's what they should be trying to do. But they don't feel that that's good, because they feel like, why I want to make him better than me when I'd rather keep him down, because that's how I am. I don't want him to do better than me. You know what I'm talking about? When you should want to see somebody do better than you, because that means that what you told them, what you did for them, made somebody better, made somebody great, and then you'll be blessed along the way if you have that type of energy and that type of understanding. But if you don't, and you have hate in your heart, then you're not going to do nothing but keep all that in yourself. The knowledge that you do have, and don't share it, and don't express it, and just look around and turn around and be running around with a mean face. You understand? And don't be happy for no reason, for nothing. But when you brag about things that are nothing, that are just natural things that you should be appreciating, but you bragging about it, that means you're not appreciating what you have, because you're not having a humble face. You're not keeping a humble attitude about it, when you should be being humble and appreciative. And when you do that, you're going to be happy, because you're showing happiness. And God blesses you with this, and life is better for you when you do this. You understand? So you have to understand what it actually is being grateful and being thankful for being strong, man, staying strong and staying on point and doing what you got to do, and being a leader of your own life. Be a leader, not a follower. When you lead the way, you don't follow the way, then you on headless. And that's what you got to do. I lead my way, man. I don't let nobody tell me nothing. I go and be around the people I want to be around, and I express myself as far as my attitude goes. I relax and be around people that are positive, that you can halfway trust, that ain't gonna cross you up. I have a lot of negative shit. People that have criminal elements, do criminal things, and do messed up situations. You get around those kind of people, man. You stay away from those kind of people. And if they're on the right track, that's what you got to do. You understand? That's why when I was at the chicken spot, man, I got around a lot of people, and I learned a lot being around them, because I had time to talk to these people. And a lot of them was ignorant, had a lot of hate in their mind. You know what I mean? They had hate because I always looked good. You understand me? Stayed blessed and stayed on point. And you can't do nothing but do good when you got that good positive energy and you're staying on the hot list. When you're staying on the hot list, man. You staying positive and steady moving forward. And being blessed, man, and being thankful and grateful that you are blessed. Man, shit, when you blessed and you thankful and grateful, man, should you be humble. You be humble, man. Don't let nothing, you understand me, distract you or put you in a position. You understand what I'm saying? When you can get crossed out. Because crosses are there. Crosses jump off. A cross can jump off at any time. So you want to be a boss and not get in a cross. Stay a boss. And you be the boss, you be the leader of your way. You make sure, you understand what I'm saying, you do what you got to do. You did. And do the right thing and be on the right page. That's why I do what I do, man. I do it for me, not for nobody else. I'm not trying to impress nobody. I ain't trying to do nothing for nobody. I do what I do for me, and I look this way, and I be this way. You understand what I'm saying? I got me a queen, and that means everything to me, because she's a reflection of me, so quite naturally, when I dress, she gonna dress too. And dress is blessed, and I don't care what nobody say. And we get better and better each and every day, and everything gonna be that way. You understand what I'm saying? I'm as happy as I could be, because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do for me and us, and that's why I take care of business. And I feel great because I do that, you understand? I'm not gonna be deprived of nothing, man. I'm gonna be on the right page and do what I gotta do, because it's the right thing to do. You dig? You understand? And that's what counts. You know what I'm talking about? That's what counts, man. When you put it together, you understand, with works out, you understand what I'm saying, like it's supposed to. Then you be on the right page, man. You're doing the right thing, you know? And you're blessed, and you got to be thankful and grateful. And stay strong, man. Stay strong. You got to stay strong. And the people you be around, stay strong in your discipline. Stay strong in your sacrificing. You know what I mean? Being by yourself, you know what I mean? When it's time to be by yourself. Be around people when it's time to be. What I mean by that is you don't always be by yourself. You got to have a sociable account. You got to be sociable. We went out Sunday. We went on a field trip. Me and some of the fellas. You know, I do that with some of the fellas to go, like, we go out to eat or go somewhere, because that's a good thing to do, because you need to get away from the local area sometimes, you know, and enjoy yourself and be relaxed. And we did that, and it was a beautiful time. You know, it was beautiful. And that's why I said it was a field trip. It was, you don't count the money that the thing costs. You know what I mean? It's the trip is a venture itself. You know what I mean? The whole trip, the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? Spending time going out, you know. And then you get somewhere and you have good food too. That's you know, this all goes together. You understand? And that's a beautiful thing. But you don't trip. You enjoy. You don't complain. You understand what I'm saying? There's nothing to complain about. You know, you're doing what you're doing. You're blessed. You have no reason to be complaining about anything. When you're fortunate enough to have money to go out there and do that, and have your health, you understand what I'm saying? Where you're able to go out and do that. You know what I mean? Man, you enjoy every moment of your life that you're living, because there's a time where you're not going to be able to do that, so you do it while you can, and you enjoy every moment that you can, you know, and stay strong, man, in that belief. You got to stay strong in all aspects of your life, in your belief, in your going to the gym, and sacrificing, you know what I mean, enjoying the time that you're enjoying with friends. Enjoy that time, enjoy it, and don't, you know what I mean, have dull moments, enjoy them, and be happy with the people when you do spend time with them. The ones that you do spend time with, the ones that you don't, keep it like that, because they're not going to do nothing but try to destruct you and destroy you anyway, because they're haters. When they're haters, they're not going to be nothing but that. They're not going to change. So when they get around you, they're going to always try to, you know what I mean, get on your case or try to tell you, because they don't want to see you happy, because they're not happy. So when they're not happy, they don't see you happy, then there's no need of being around them, because there's no amount of where they live, how they live, or where they at, and none of that's going to make them happy. You understand what I'm saying? The place where you live at, none of that make them happy. They're gonna be unhappy for you where you at, because you happy where you at. They don't want to see you happy. They want to make reasons for you not to be happy where you at, and you are happy. You see, because you don't need to waste time trying not being happy. If you can be happy and appreciate where you at, and love where you at for the reasons that you're there, that's a beautiful thing. You understand what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing, and you don't know. You don't try to, you don't try to not be there, man. You know, you try to be on time, you know. You know what I'm saying? You try to be on time as far as everything you do. I mean, you be the best of your ability, and you enjoy every moment. You love what you're doing, and you enjoy it. You know, whatever you do, do it for you. Don't worry about what other people say. Other people say you got too many clothes, you got too many this, you got too many that. You live in your life the way for you and yours. As long as you're happy and yours is happy, that's what counts, not for nobody else. You know, those that don't understand, hey, it's okay. I'm going to be better and better each and every day and each and every way, and I'm going to live better, and I'm going to do better. And I'm going to make things better for my queen, as far as better for me and her. You dig? So when somebody tell me something, and I know I need to improve on that, you know what I do? I improve on it. I get it on top of it and make it better, and then I'm more happier, and even we living better. I'm happier and a better life. And that's what I'm going to do, you understand what I'm saying? That's why this weekend I got things I'm going to do, and I'm going to take care of business and get those things done, because I'm the person to get things done. I don't procrastinate. I don't lay things off. When I know something need to be done, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to get on top of it. It's going to be done this weekend. That I need to do in that area, you dig? Because I stay strong and stay on top of my business, you dig? You know what I mean? And like I got my scooter, I ride it when I want to, not for when everybody else thinks I need to. You know what I mean? I don't ride it all the time. I ride it occasionally. This place, I could go to the store and do all this shopping and do all that with it, but I don't do that, you understand? You know, I ride it for pleasure, mainly, you know. You dig what I'm saying? And I don't need to be on it all the time, but I be on it as much as I want, when I want, how I want. You know, like Wednesday, I'll probably get on it to go on a trip, you know what I'm saying? I'll probably go on a trip, you dig? Go out to the Fillmore area, especially if the weather's nice. I'll probably go out that way, you know, and enjoy it. joy. It's an enjoyment when I get on my bike. I don't try to go shopping and do all that type of stuff. I could, but I'm not ready to do that yet. You know, I like to keep it for enjoyment. You know, because I ain't trying to overdo it with the situation. Because I ain't trying to buy me another bike. I want to keep this one from now on, and I'm gonna ride it occasionally. You know, I'm not gonna overdo it with it. You know, I'm gonna have it occasionally. As long as I know I got it, and I'm doing. When I get ready to get on this there, man, I'm loving it. I'm happy. That's what, as long as I'm happy. It's just like clothes. I don't wear the same thing too often. I got so many clothes. I wear things occasionally. I ain't wore this in maybe like over a year. You know, but I can do that because I got so many clothes. Some clothes I gotta get out and get together that I haven't worn at all. And I'm gonna get them together. You know, you dig? I'm gonna have to take some of them in, but some of the ones that need to be taken in, I'm just gonna sell them. I'm not gonna even do that because it's not necessary. I got too many clothes that I wear that I don't need to be taking that in. I got new stuff. I'm just gonna sell it because I'm gonna get. It probably won't be this summer, but I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna do that flea market deal. But summer's coming so fast now. I just want to get things straight so we can make these 2 trips. You know, mainly this one trip for sure, going to see my sister, and then the other trip going to L.A. But I'll probably do that with Silky and boy, that'll be a different trip. You know what I mean? It won't be with my queen. Or I'll do that, you know, fellowship trip with the boys. You know what I mean? You got to do things like that. It's important, man. That's part of enjoying life, man. You got to do the simple things, but it's just enjoying it and appreciating it. You know what I mean? You got to do things like that to you know, appreciate being with the fellas and enjoying life. You know, you gotta do that, man. You know, that's part of life. That's part of you know, being your best self, man. Being your best self and loving life and living life, loving life and living life. You know, you gotta do that, man. And a lot of people don't understand that. They don't understand it at all, man. They don't understand it. You know, you gotta love life and appreciate life. When you get a certain age, you're supposed to be better, like fine wine. You're supposed to be better, and you're supposed to be able to understand things better. You're supposed to be able to live like, you're supposed to be happy because you realize and you know what really counts in life. You know what's important, and you don't try to, you know, if you don't have something, you don't feel bad about it. If you don't have something, you just live your best life for what you have on your level. You be the best you can be on your level. Don't try to compete or be around with nobody else. Because you got these people, they might have more money than you, but are they living better than you? That's the thing, you know what I mean? It's not the money you have, it's how you live and how you live in a good life as far as in your caliber. You know what I mean? Do you feel like a millionaire? You understand what I'm saying? The way you live, the way your attitude is, the way you feel, the way you think, you understand? You know what I mean? Being appreciative, man, and loving you and loving life. Man, you got to be the best you can be. You understand what I'm saying? For what it means, you know. And that's what it's all about, man. You know what I'm saying? And when you think back and you look at your life, all the way up when you look at it, to be who you are and what you are now, you had to go through what you went through in order to be here to feel that way. You know, it couldn't have been no other way, no other road you could have took, no other way you could have ended up, and no telling where you would have been or how you would have dealt with things. Things could have been all the way different. You know what I'm saying? You know. By me being clean and sober at the time that I did, I lived the life I lived, and I got clean at the right time so I could live a life and appreciated all the little things I did and the playing that I played and having it my way, you know what I mean? Not working, but playing for my money, traveling and going places and able to make money on the road and be at these different states and play. Oh, man, it was just beautiful. I got to really be grateful and thankful for the kind of life I lived and was able to live that, man, and make money, you understand? You know, at that particular time. And then when the time came for me to make the change, to do that, that was right on time too. You know what I mean, with my cousin because I listened to her. You know, and I did what I had to do. And that made me, put me on the hit list, you know, in that area. I was right on time in that. You know what I'm saying? I don't regret that because being in downtown San Francisco made me really happy to be there because I really love Frisco, man. And that's why when I was trying to get to there and I knew I was going to be at that place, and I was living in Vegas, coming here, I'd like to ride around San Francisco when I'd be in Oakland. I came to Frisco every day anyway. I would always come to San Francisco. You know, for year in and year out, I would run to San Francisco, you know what I'm saying, because I love the city, you know what I'm saying? So when I came to Frisco, when I came back in the 80s after I traveled and went all over Denver, Albuquerque, I came here and appreciated this town. I appreciated coming back here. I loved it, man. When the track was on foot, I loved it, that part of it. I loved it, man. I just loved it, the city. You know, my town, and I loved it. I came back here, and and really got on point with it, you know. You understand what I'm saying? And I was always a leader. I did things my way. You know, I learned what I had to learn in the game, what I had to learn to do, what I had to do to be what I had to be. But I stayed in my lane. You understand? I stayed in my lane. You know what I mean? I stayed in my lane. I didn't mess with a whole lot of people. I knew a few players. You know what I mean? You know, in the game, I knew all of them. They all knew me. But I didn't, as they say, I didn't, you know, get in different lanes. I stayed in the right lane. I stayed on point. You know what I'm saying? You know how you got them cats that was bitter and hateful and everything, and they didn't really live a good life. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't, they weren't responsible, or independent. You know, you got to be responsible, be independent, and be a leader, and be able to have it your way. Don't get stuck, always stuck in a rut. That'll make you unhappy, and you're not leading. You're not living no kind of life. You're not being strong. You know, you got to be strong, man. You got to live a strong life. I was strong back in the day. When my cousin told me, she said, "You got to be strong." She said, "You stronger. You're a leader. You're you know." But she was telling me I was stronger than her husband and my partner, Pretty Boy. They both was weak. You understand what I'm saying? They stayed up on that woman. I stayed up on this. They needed help. They couldn't lead the way. I was always a leader. That's why I lead and do what I do, and I'm always doing that because I didn't need a woman. I wanted a woman. It was different. They needed them. They had to have a woman to make it. They couldn't make it by themselves. And when the women vanished from them or got away, they perished. They couldn't stand strong. Like Pretty Boy was up in the place weak because he never got strong. You understand? And them were sorry people. You know what I mean? And I don't need to be around them that often. I got around Silky, and he was a strong brother too. And me and that man did our thing and had it our way. You understand what I'm saying? We was compatible, and we did the things that was necessary to do to be on the hit list. You know what I mean? To be on the winning list. And that's what time it was. See, you gravitate to what fulfills you. You know what I mean? At the time, you be around people that you know what I mean, that keeps you afloat. It's like when I was with her at the time. At the time, that was cool, but I outgrew her. So when I come out and she thought I was gonna be this way, man, I wasn't tripping with her. I went on my way. And ended up going up there to Seattle with the Indians. You understand what I'm saying? And messed up and had a relapse and did what I did, but I don't regret it because at that time that was where my mind was supposed to be. I was supposed to be in that state of mind. You dig what I'm saying? When that happened. But before, when I was, you know, seeing my daughter and visiting her and doing that, going up to visit her, she was, you know, evidently she didn't appreciate it because look what happened later on when I wasn't able to help her and I needed help myself. And you understand, I was coming out the joint. All they could think about was me taking care of her, helping her with the kids. Her and her friends was talking that talk. You know what I'm saying? I tried to come back up there, but evidently it wasn't for me to come back up there. That wasn't meant to be. You know what I'm saying? That domestic type of scene was not me at that time. You understand? And I ended up relapsing on that tip. But like I said, back in the day when I was ready to change, when I come out in '77, the first time I went to the joint, I was running 10 miles a day. I was happy, man. I was on the right track. I really was. I was coming out to be a good square, man, because I appreciated the square things in life. I wasn't really, I could have got out the game so fast, man, because I really meant what I meant when I told her all the things I told her. When I was writing all them letters. You know what I'm saying? I really meant that. I really was meant to change. But she didn't want to change, and she was caught up in the street life so hard at that time, street poison, that it was no other way. You know, it was no other way. You know what I mean? For us to change, and I couldn't deal with her doing that, and me not being in the fast life as well, because I was in the square. You understand? You know, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things, but you understand the whole situation as you get older and as you deal with situations in life. And that's why you don't regret it. You just be the best of it. And you stay strong, you understand what I'm saying? Because you're here and you're doing as good as you're doing and you're looking as good as you're doing for a reason, you dig. That all that you've been through and you're still here to celebrate life right now. That's something to be thankful and grateful for. You know what I mean? That you stay strong and you still staying strong throughout this whole thing. And people hateful and jealous, a lot of them, especially in your age bracket. I couldn't understand why some of them cats were feeling the way they was feeling. You know, some of my comrades was feeling the way they was feeling, and I was always grateful and thankful, and always spent time with them. I would always spend time with them as far as, you know, as far as keeping them as far as keeping them on the right track, man, I keep them on the right track. Yeah, dang. Yeah, dang. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I keep them on the right track because I was a strong person. I was a leader, man. I led the way. Like I said, when I went to Denver, man, I had it my way there. And I didn't have no sport ladies. I had jury and I had cats that was selling in different places. When I went to Seattle, I had cats selling jury for me. Bam, bam. But then when I sold it myself, I made a big bank there. So I was always independent, making my money, having it my way. I was never broke. I always had it my way. You understand? You know what I mean? And then when I got to leaking, I didn't never leak long. You know, I leaked for a minute, but I never leaked long. I always had that get up when you fall down, get back up, bam. Get back up, stay strong, don't stay down. But you got these cats, man, these people that stay down and don't get up. Boy, they're gonna be some sorry people when they get old. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be sorry. You know, I tried to lead my nephew in the right direction, but since I couldn't, I just had to let him go. And I kept on doing my thing. You know what I'm talking about? Because I know I had to do what I had to do for me. You know, and that's what I did. You know what I'm talking about? And it's like this, man, you gotta do you. Don't worry about do things for nobody else's expectations. Don't do it for nobody. Do what you do because that's what you want to do, and you happy doing it. Just like I went and got my scooter, and I ride it when I ride it occasionally. I don't have to ride it all the time. Now I got it, and I'm doing what I'm doing with it, and that's what counts. The rest of that shit don't mean nothing. I don't let them other people get me down, hold me down. I'll be on top of my business, man. You know, and that's what I do. As long as I can do that, man, that's what counts. You know, I don't let the people get in my way, man. No kind of way, fashion, shape, or form. You know, I don't let that happen, man. I'm not the one. You know? And that's why I always think to myself, you know, when I look around and try to figure things out, I say, man, I'm blessed, I'm thankful, and I'm grateful, and I'm living my best life, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because it works. If you keep doing what you're doing and you're happy doing it, then that's what you do. You don't try to do nothing nobody else is doing. You live to be 72, man, three quarters of a you know what I mean? Hey, look here, man. If you live to get to the age I'm at, you understand what I'm saying? And it's working, what you're doing is working, and you keep doing what you're doing because it's working for you. You keep doing that, man. And you keep, being happy where you at. Don't be trying to change. What made me really tighten up my changing ability, as far as when I was thinking about moving, was when I got right over there in that apartment building, and I seen that it was a bigger place. It had a lot of luxuries in the room, but the place itself and the environment was not good. I did not like it. You know, I did not like it. I was so happy to get back to my spot. And then when I got back to my spot and being around downtown in the area, and then I was in a new spot, man, I was happy. I didn't want to move. Right then, immediately, I knew I didn't want to move. I said I could make this work with all my clothes and all my stuff I had. I was content and I was happy. You know? Yeah, and that's what I did. I made it work. But I still was sticking and moving, going and going out. I didn't stay in the house. I went out every day, man, like I do now. I'm in better shape now that I'm better. Now that, like I said, the medication has helped me do better, and I'm doing better, and I'm going to keep doing better. I'm not going to let nothing hold me back. I'm going to stay on point, you understand, Jack? Because that's what I got to do. Stay strong, man. Stay strong is the name of the game. Stay strong is the name of the show. And I'm going to let you know that you have to stay strong. And that's what I'm going to do, man. Stay strong in all aspects of your life, man. And stay strong in physical ability, going to the gym. Stay strong in you know what I mean, in your standards and your morals and your principles. Stay strong in being staying with your friends when you tell them to give them advice. Or you don't tell them nothing when you know they're happy where they at. Encourage them to be happy and be responsible. That's all you can do if they're really a friend, if they're really a part of your life and you love them. And I do, so I got to do that to the few friends, few people that I do have, which is limited. It's only a few that might need advice, and I give it to them, you understand? You know, and the rest of them are doing what they got to do, and that's the way it goes, you understand? And you know, you do what you do. You live your life for what you do. When you like to go somewhere and do something, you do it. But I'll go there when I get ready. But Yoshi's, we really gonna go. I want to go to Yoshi's. I'm gonna set that up. This weekend, I'm gonna go get the calendar schedule for Yoshi's, because we are gonna go there. We're gonna start going back to Yoshi's because it's a place we need to go, and it's good and it's beautiful and everything is cool, and we're gonna do that. That's for sure. You know what I mean, on the situation. You know, and I'm gonna keep it on point. You dig? Like I said, stay strong, ladies and gentlemen. This is the name of the show that I got to go. It's that time of day. The show is over with. You understand me? Because the time went by so fast. But ladies and gentlemen, that's what it is. Stay strong. Believe that.